As the world moves slowly towards a future dominated by electric automobiles, it is noticeable that almost 2 decades into the substantive movement, one cannot find electric cars in most African countries. DNT has a revealing interview with Gregory Coles in the United States and proceeded to visit his facility in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hello, my name is Jermaine Nkrumah. This is Diaspora Weekly on Diaspora Network Television, and we are delighted to have my friend Gregory Coles from Atlanta. Gregory, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. One of the things that we do on Diaspora Weekly is we don't read a long list of what you call it, profile and everything because it's conversation. I would like the person to introduce themselves. So, Greg, who are you?
So I'm Gregory Cole. I'm the president of Retro Bikes here. And what we do here is we convert cars to electric. We convert gas cars or diesel cars to electric. And in that process, there's a little bit of engineering and a little learning curve that has to be addressed. And that's what I am good at. I am good at basically crossing the T's and dotting the I's to make sure that the gaps are filled to get this conversion done.
Very good. We're hoping you will be the next Elon Musk, but I think what you do is a bit different. Whereas Elon builds electric cars from scratch, you are saying that you convert existing gas cars to electric.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
The heavy lifting is already done with me, meaning I don't have heavy capital that has to be injected into what I do. The cars are, like I said, already built. The standard in which they operate has already been determined. The safety rating's already there. I don't have to worry about things. All I do is keep the weight and balance within the original specifications of the car so that it handles the same. And I make it so that operating the car is just like operating the car as it was when it was gas. It's just quiet.
So in this case, you operate across brands, right? You're not looking to build your own brand of cars, but you can operate across brands. Is that correct?
I can operate across brands. Yes. Now, my business partner and I, Derek Daly, he does have his own car company, which I am part of. We're all under one umbrella. But he has his own car company called Electa Motors, and he has his own brand. So he has his own electric SUV. So I believe he's the first minority EV manufacturer in American history.
How is that going so far?
It's a beautiful car. You want to see it?
I'm coming to ATL to see it. I'm definitely coming to ATL to see it.
It's a beautiful car.
Like everything else, the more innovative it is, the more uphill the beginning is. How has the journey been?
Well, quite, as with anything, it's, the first steps are always difficult. It starts as a concept, and then it goes from a concept to an idea, then from an idea to a concept. Once it was conceptualized, the plan was drawn out on paper. But then you have to make it. And then after that, the difficult part is after you make it, you have to market it. It has to be an accepted, rule or an accepted competitive mode of transportation now. So there's been a few people to convert cars before me to electric, but how do I create this on a mass adoptive platform? How do I make this mass adoptive? And to create mass adoption, for anything, you have to create interest. It has to be affordable. It has to be non-cumbersome to own. It has to be easy to own, easy to operate. So what I've done is I've taken this difficult process of converting cars to electric and I simplified it. And then after I simplified it, I took it and then packaged it so that it is easy to digest. So that people can just get in a car, it looks good. You can convert any car you want to electric and drive this car. But then it has to be cheap to operate. So it has to be very inexpensive to operate. That is the next phase that I'm working on, is making it inexpensive to operate. So to drive an electric car is relatively inexpensive, okay? According to electricity, in whatever region you're from, you're at the mercy of the cost of electricity. But the cost of electricity is nowhere near, it's not even on the radar as the cost of fuel. So the next thing to address in that realm of questionnaires is range anxiety. What do you do about range anxiety? And what I've addressed with range anxiety is an invention we have called the Proteus. So we have a motor that is an onboard generator that's very, very small. And this generator runs at such efficient numbers and it creates so much power that it can actually turn a generator head and it can charge your vehicle while you're driving. So the way it works, the way it works is, and it works better for fleet vehicles, for larger trucks. It works better for those than it does cars.
Yeah. And for the layman, when you say range anxiety, you're talking about how far the vehicle can take you upon after recharge. Is that what's?
Yes, okay. Range anxiety it is a big thing here in America because the land is vast. In traveling, there's a long distance between one destination to the next if you go from one state to the next. But anywhere where there's a large area you have to traverse across, there's range anxiety. There's range anxiety with gasoline.
That's right. But you have filling station all over the place. Like against where you can charge your car if it's electric.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, right. But with charging stations, they're relatively new. And there's a new network of charging stations that isn't set up like gas stations. People don't just ride up the street and see a charging station.
Right.
If you ride up the street, you see the big sign that lets you know off of the interstate, gas coming up in a mile or two. You don't have that with charging stations. So people are, they're like, well, where am I going to get my next charge from? What's going to happen if I run out of electricity? How long is it going to take to charge? So I've addressed that by having an onboard charger that can run off. Okay. So what it does is, it's not to answer the question of, well, why not just drive a gas car? And the reason is because this motor can run off of gas, natural gas, liquid propane, diesel, anything.
Wow.
Can run off of anything.
So let me get this straight. Your converted vehicles, would they need to plug into an electric charger, or it's exclusively onboard charging?
Both.
Okay.
Call it PAC system, parallel alternative charging. You can charge in parallel. You can charge from a charger, or you can charge from the onboard charger. If you don't have gas, plug up. If you don't want to plug up, use gas. It's both.
And then you can also go one way exclusively. You can continue to fill, like when you put maybe 5-gallon gas into the motor, it is charging the generator that is in turn powering your engine. Is that how yours work?
Sort of. So instead of the generator powering the engine, the generator charges batteries. The batteries power the engine. If the generator powered the engine, then when the engine demanded more load, the generator would not be efficient.
Absolutely.
The generator is only a charger. And as long as it's only a charger, then the car can be efficient and go and work. Even if the generator were to break, the car can still go.
Okay. This is the automobile industry. It's a jungle. Maybe people from outside the industry may not appreciate how much of a jungle environment it is. What can you say about your survivability and your path forward?
So because I am what you call vehicle agnostic, it doesn't matter the vehicle that I convert.
Okay.
My path forward is wide open. I'm not hindered by any one manufacturer. I'm not hindered by any one part, because what I am providing is a service, not just a product. Absolutely. If I provided just a product, I would be at mercy of the manufacturer, whoever makes my parts. But because I'm providing a service, I'm providing a knowledge base and a new lifestyle in which you mobilize yourself, I can use any product to complete my mission or to do what I need to get done. I don't have to just use one type of motor. I can use another type of motor. I don't have to use one battery. I can use another type of battery. I don't have to use one anything. What I am doing is bringing a new way of building a car to that so that people can move around. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And not only am I doing that, but I'm teaching other people how to do that.
Very good. You told me about the teaching, and we'll get to that. But I'm trying to figure, as the conversation moved from whether the lifespan of a full charged engine, right? The conversation has begun that, okay, as electric motors begin to dominate the market, what's going to happen to automobile manufacturers who still build gas-powered engines? Do you see an end to that? And I mean, do you see an end to gas-powered engines? And how does your service fit into that?
So I don't see an end to gas-powered engines because they're going to have their need. Okay, the momentum is there. Gas-powered engines, they do work great. They're just not efficient. Okay, they don't work well in all circumstances. Okay, what I see is that we create so much pollution under the current form of combustion engine that there is a different way. Now, what I do see is not an end to gas-powered engines, but I see an injection of an electric engine, an electric vehicle. I see the gas engine having to share the market with electric vehicles because electric vehicles are way better in a lot of circumstances.
Okay. All right. What about patent issues? Are you worried?
No, I haven't. It's already patented.
Okay. Very good. All right. So let's talk about the teaching part. How are you? In other words, the more technicians you put out in the market, how do you benefit? Because if I learn your trade and I go off to try and do on my own, how do you benefit from that?
What I'm creating is an industry. And in order to create an industry, I have to enlist the services of everyone. I need people to learn it. I need people to use it. I need people to be adapted to it. For me to look at this selfishly and say, I should only run this industry, I should only be the one to do this, that means I don't have a clear vision of mass adoption. That means I don't want everyone to have it. That means I just want to be rich.
Right.
I don't care about that. What I care about is people needing to be able to mobilize affordably. And if people can mobilize affordably, then more than me has to do this. Competition is fair. I want competition because competition promotes mass adoption. The more people that do it, the more it gets used. So I welcome competition. What I don't welcome is people coming in to scam the system and to be selfish, to do it for selfish reasons. So what I'm creating and teaching people how to do this, I'm creating a platform so that other people can make money, so that money is generated and circulated within their community. So like I'm circulating money in my community, it's only fair that other people circulate money in their community.
Okay, very good. Where do you see your market base?
My market base is everywhere that people want to drive electric vehicles. That's where my market base is. If it makes sense to drive an electric vehicle, and this is how I will open the eyes of the mass of people. It makes sense to drive an electric vehicle when you don't want to pay a lot to drive your car.
Okay.
To drive a car right now, it's about 64 cents a mile, between 34 and 64 cents per mile here in America. To drive an electric vehicle, it is 4 cents per mile to drive in America.
Wow. Okay. So it seemed to me that you should have your eye on Africa.
I have my eye on Africa. I do.
Right. Okay, very good. Now you know the market dynamics of Africa. I mean, fuel, short supply, electricity, short supply. How would that work out?
Well, if you have your onboard charging system, then electricity will not be an issue.
Okay. So if I invest, I mean, can you give an idea of how much it costs? Because when you told me about between 34 cents and 64 cents a mile using fuel, and then compared to 4 cents a mile, that's about what, almost 1,000% savings to drive between. And so it will make sense to convert existing vehicles on the African continent to your system. But what about the initial investment? How hefty is it?
So the initial investment to have an electric vehicle is going to cost you somewhere around $30,000 to $50,000 per vehicle right now. Right now. As this system gets adopted and more vehicles are made, it's just like anything else. Tesla started off at $100,000+ per vehicle. Some of their vehicles still are plus over 100,000, right? But now, from the ground up, they can make a vehicle and sell it for $50,000. You see? So the price is dropping. When I say that cost that I'm talking about is for a large vehicle, a fleet vehicle, meaning class 5 vehicle, a vehicle with 6 wheels. You see? Okay. A vehicle that would normally cost you $50,000 to $100,000 anyway. You're changing the platform. That's all. Smaller vehicles, they're going to be considerably less. They may be $20,000, right? But once that vehicle is built, it has to have a platform in which it can operate, meaning your infrastructure, the electricity. But it's harder right now. But I'm working on shrinking my motor. Once I shrink the motor, the Proteus motor, I can put that in any vehicle. Right now, I put it in larger vehicles because of the size of the motor. So my investment that I'm working on now is to invest. I'm looking for investment to shrink the motor. Once that motor is shrunk, I can put it, it's shrunk and I can put it in a smaller car. Well, now it can be mass adopted. Right now, it is great for a business platform, but for a personal use, it's going to have to be shrunk down so that consumers can use it.
How do you change minds? Because if I have an 18-wheeler vehicle and you tell me you're going to put something small in it and it's going to work, it's going to power it, I'll say, I don't trust you, because conceptually, we equate big with power.
Yeah, we do.
How do you address that?
So it's okay to not trust it. You know, the things we trust, we shouldn't trust. People, system, we trust it, but it's not good for us.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Right. So someone comes along and they say, you can have twice the power with no noise. You can have less maintenance and drive a car twice as far. It goes against everything that we have been taught.
Right.
But because you have been taught something, does that necessarily make it right? It's just what we're used to. Right. So because something is big doesn't mean it's powerful. Right. And that is where technology has come in. You look at your phone. This phone is just as powerful as the computer that I'm talking to you on. It's small. Mm-hmm. It's the same way. That's how technology works. Things don't have to be big to be powerful. And this is what I'm educating people on. You don't have to use gas to move around, but this is all we know. We just know combustion and pollution means that's the price you pay to move around. That doesn't have to be the case. That does not have to be the case. Tesla's proven it, so I'm going to prove it.
Well, I mean, my final question to you is, when are you coming to Africa with this?
Once my relationships are set or established in Africa, I have to know who I'm working with, under what circumstances are we going to work. Then I'm coming. I have to come and visit, look at the landscape, get my eye on the place and see where it makes sense, figure out who the players are going to be, of how we're going to do it. Because I'm doing this here. Yeah. I'll show you right here if you look. Mm-hmm. That's an electric tow truck that I have built. All electric. Okay. Right there.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. It is all electric. It is a beautiful truck. And and it's powerful and it's fast and it's quiet. I'll send you a video of me driving it.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah. I've got several cars that I've built that I drive daily. And and what we are doing is we're going to solidify our relationships as to how we're going to do business in Africa.
Okay.
Well, if we could do it here, we could do it there. We could do it anywhere.
Absolutely. Well, it takes a first visit, and I'm extending a hand to you right now. Come, yeah, I take it you ever been to the motherland?
I have never been to the motherland.
Okay, you're coming. 2023, you're coming.
I cannot wait.
All right. My brother, Gregory Coles, thanks for gracing this show. Definitely we will continue the conversation, but thanks for appearing on Diaspora Weekly.
I'm happy to come along, and I'm willing to come back anytime you want me. You're willing to have me.
You got it. All right. I was so impressed with my interview with Gregory Coles that I made it a point to make a trip to Atlanta to visit. Here's what happened. How do you plan to blow this up?
Well, with the help of this young lady right here, it's happening now. So we have a few ways. One is through education, of course, because to have these vehicles means nothing if you don't have a staff to build them.
Right.
So to make them available is one thing, but how do you do it? So we create an education, or it's called a workforce development program, where we train people to convert these cars to electric. And then after that, we employ them at our enclaves, which then house all of the units where the trucks will be built, all of the bays.
Okay.
Picture like this, the bay. Picture this area right here would be an area where one vehicle is converted. And then you'll have all of them beside each other.
Okay.
And that's an enclave.
What in the education piece, how do you go about doing that?
Well, what I'm writing the curriculum now. So there's a little bit of academic that goes with it, but most of it is hands-on training. I actually physically show people, and then I'm training trainers. So once I train the trainers, those trainers will go out and train the people to convert the vehicle to electric. And then once that's done, then of course you go straight to work converting vehicles, and then we do vehicles like fleet vehicles. So we'll find a few companies, and say, hey, give us 10% of your fleet to convert. Right. Run your numbers, extrapolate your numbers, and say, okay, on a 10% basis, if we went to 20%, 30%, this is the numbers.
And you say you're in the schools, you're taking it to the universities.
Yes.
Has it started yet?
We're starting it right now as we speak.
Cool.
Yeah, this is it. We're approaching multiple cities and counties and states and implementing the program throughout the country.
Okay, what's this?
This is what you call the Wolverton Bailey counterpoise motor.
The who?
Wolverton Bailey counterpoise motor.
Uh-huh.
This motor is a motor that runs at 51% efficiency. The average gas motor runs at 22% efficient. The average diesel motor runs at 33% turbo diesel. To date, that is the most efficient motor on the road. This is 51.8% efficient, fuel agnostic. It can run on gas, diesel, dimethylethylamine, natural gas, liquid propane.
The same thing.
The same thing.
All right. Okay.
This can run on anything.
This baby here
Yes.
can run on regular unleaded fuel, diesel, natural gas, and what else?
Liquid propane.
For those of us lay people, it comes down to miles per gallon.
Oh, if you put a 5-gallon tank of liquid propane, this motor does not move the vehicle. This motor only spins a generator that charges a battery. That being said, 5 gallons will run this for 8 hours. So if you run 5 gallons for 8 hours and you're charging a bank of batteries, say you're driving 60 miles an hour for 8 hours while you're driving this,
480.
6 times 8, 60 miles an hour for 8 hours, 480 miles on 5 gallons. A vehicle this size. This is the ultimate piece of equipment that will set us apart from everyone else.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we can charge while we drive.
Yeah.
That's what separates us.
You know what I think? If these things are doable, why are we stuck with all these archaic engines that burns fuel like you were talking about the Corvette burning about 12 miles per gallon or 11 miles per gallon? If we have this, Why do we have to deal with all those things? And why is this not so much in the market now?
Because electric gas-powered vehicles have been around over 100 years.
You're right.
That being said, there's a ship that's moving in this direction, right?
Yeah.
And this ship is loaded with people and equipment and stuff that's been piled on, right? And here comes electric. It's going the other way.
Yeah.
Lightning speed.
Right.
How do you take this ship that's this big and it's moving parts and turn it around and go the other way? It'll take years. It'll take years.
Yeah. We are with the converted Mercedes. What year is this?
It's a 1972.
1972. And what are we looking at? What's this?
That is actually the Charger.
The Charger. Okay. And that's in the place of
the motors.
The motor.
The Charger. The controller is like the controller is under here that controls the motor. And then the motor is actually down at the very bottom.
Okay.
The motor is the size of a cantaloupe.
So all this area, everything else here was how it was. You didn't touch it. You just basically replaced the engine with this Charger here.
Well, with this car, I replaced just about everything because I wanted to make this a show car.
That's right.
But when on my average conversions, I don't replace everything. I'll just replace the motor.
Yeah. But the most important thing is, this is where the engine will be.
Yeah, that's where the engine, the motor.
The motor. But you take out the engine and you put this thing here.
Electric motor. Yep, that's it.
And now all of a sudden you don't need fuel anymore.
No fuel. This is 100% electric.
Wow.
Yeah, 100% electric.
Yeah, that's it. Wow. Let's look at the Corvette.
So this has not been converted yet.
Okay.
This is what I'm going to convert.
Okay.
But I'll show you what the Mercedes used to have under the hood.
Oh, okay.
So look here. This is what the Mercedes used to have under the hood.
Okay, so this is old as carburetor type of engine. So when you're done with this, which one of these will be gone?
All of this will be gone. All of that, radiator, everything. All of this will be gone. It'll be a motor, but because there's no transmission, that's going to be gone too. The motor will be tucked away underneath here. You won't see it. Right. This will just be batteries.
Right. And then after, like this one, how much would it cost to convert it?
Well, this one here is going to be about. This is an expensive project. This one will be about $65,000 to convert because it's a classic car.
It's a classic car, right.
But the average car, once I'm done and I scale this up, the average car will be between $11,000 and $30,000.
You got it.
Retro by Exceeder is a division of Derrick Automotive that converts older vehicles to electric. But we also have our new vehicle. This is called the Avani. This is our car. We designed this vehicle. And this is an all-electric SUV, as you see here. It's a plug-in vehicle. It easily plugs up like such. Take this plug right here. Plug it right in. And then you can take the other end like such and plug it right into the wall here. So as you see, you have the end that plugs into the wall, and then it plugs right into the car, and then it just charges. See? See that?
Yes. Okay, so you have. How did you come about this? How did you come about this whole thing we're looking at here?
So this car was actually designed by my partner, Derek Bailey. Right? Derek and I, we have two companies under one umbrella. So we have the Derrick Automotive, or the Electa Motors, and then we have Retro by Exceeder. So I'm the retro division, right? I take the old cars and make them electric. Right. He is the new car division. So this is, if you want a new car, you buy it from him. You want a retrofitted car, get it from me.
So if I want a new car, I can order one right now.
This is it.
How much is it, baby? Here.
This is $75,000.
始了，蓝牙语连接。
Check it out.
You started it.
It's on.
Where's the noise?
Don't put it in drive. It'll go.
Okay, let's see what's. Wait.
Called the front.
What's happening here?
Yeah.
How does this move?
Well, because there's no motor here,
Uh huh.
you have room for a front trunk. So it's called a front.
There's got to be some gadgets that make it move. Where are those?
Oh, the gadgets are underneath the car.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't get a shot of them. Yeah,
It's under the car.
it's under the car.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's inside. Yeah. So this electric platforms are different. So
Yeah.
And think about all the engine, combustible parts of an engine, all taken
Yeah.
out.
yeah,
You don't need any of that stuff anymore. No oil changes anymore, nothing. So all that stuff is gone.
If you order one, how long does it take?
we're still in the process of getting this thing
Yeah,
tested, our final testing for
Okay.
America. So it's going to be about a year before it's
about a year.
Yeah.
And
We're about a year out.
what about approval in terms of has it been approved for road use? That's what you're working
That's what
on.
we're working on.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been approved. Everything's approved. We just have to
Okay.
crash it.
Okay.
So we crash it. That's it.
Yeah. So the brand is Avani.
Avani. Well, that's the name.
That's the name of the
Name of
car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brand is, of course, Derek on one.
And this motorbike too is electric.
Yes, it's electric. Everything in here is electric. Everything in here is
So how
electric.
much something like this?
This here is about, I think this is 7,000.
7,000.
This one does about 65 miles an hour. This one is about 3,800. This one does about 40 miles an hour. This is when you just ride around town.
Yeah.
And that's a delivery bike. That's about 7,000. That's 3,800 right there. This one here is about, I think this one is 4,500 and this one's 3,800. But this one here is a very comfortable little bike. It's about 25 miles an hour. You can scoot around town. These have sidecars that we're bringing with them. So they'll have a sidecar.
Yeah.
I like the old timey motorcycles.
What's it feel like to be an honorary member of Derek Automotive Gala?
Excellent. I mean, the
Excellent.
fact that I'm an industrial engineer, I worked on the International Space Station. I think this is groundbreaking for our communities. A great opportunity for an economic engine that can be a game changer, not only for this generation, but for multiple generations.
Interesting.
Well, I'm Steve Branch, one of the managing partners for Derek Automotive, and it's been a blessing because not only do we get to bring out some of this new technology, what we get to do is control it and get out the people who we know and love and get them involved in the EV revolution that's happening right up under our noses, and also get them the opportunity to learn how to do it and be a part of the solution and no longer be part of the problem. So I'm real excited about that part of what we're going to bring to the community. So when you look at us several years from now, what we're doing today is how you get your picture on the mantle.
Why should I spend all that money to turn my car from fuel to electric?
So, well, when you drive electric, stop and go traffic, that's when you use virtually no energy. Because especially in like gridlock traffic, that's the time you burn the least energy. And if you're sitting still, AC units now burn about 2 miles, the equivalent of 2 miles per hour.
Okay.
So if you have a range, just say a 100-mile range, right? Then you could run your AC unit for 50 hours straight, just sitting still.
Yeah.
So if you're in 8-hour traffic, that's nothing. It's 16 miles of range you burned up. With running an electric vehicle. All right,
Make
here
sure
we
you're
go.
pinning with our Derek Automotive pin.
An honorary member of
Okay.
the DA family.
Very good.
It is not something that's etched in blood, so you don't have to bleed for it. But
Yeah, it's a good thing you are the one doing the pinning, because if you was doing the pinning, you would probably poke me on purpose. 'Cause I never heard
Hey, I'm never ever gonna let you forget that first hug, man.
That's it.
What does a ride in an electric car feel like? Gregory Coase is adamant about bringing the new technology of converting gas-powered vehicles to electric-powered vehicles to Africa, being with Ghana. DNT Atlanta, Georgia, United States.